Weird.
Weird. Weird.
That is so weird. People are so weird. Like, you're weird.
That's weird.
You're weird.
Talk about weird.
Are we weird?
Talk about weird.
Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. Let's get wicked, let's get weird. Happy Wednesday. You will notice that the picture on the screen is a picture that I used in my last video, and this is a recent comparison of Anna. On the left hand side we have a filtered, curated photo, and on the right hand side we have a candid shot. Both posted on the same day, and you know, the one on the right hand side really had me thinking she looked very familiar, you know, very reminiscent of the past. And then I was recommended this video from 3 years ago, my reality check. So let's let Anna tell us a little bit about her reality check from 3 years ago.
What I realized kind of on this trip, and this is why I'm making it its own separate video, because I think it's really, really important that I acknowledge this happened. But I basically had a reality check in Hawaii. I like to think of myself as fairly active. I like to think of myself as strong, especially since now I've been working out pretty much, actually, not pretty much, actually, every single day since January 1st. You know, I thought I was, I don't know, in perfect shape. Not perfect shape, but I thought I was like much further down the road than I was.
So that statement alone just lets us know how delulu Anna is. She posted this one on March 27th, and then the Hawaii video that she's speaking of, March 23rd. So I'm not sure exactly when she filmed those, but she started working out January 1st. She was maybe working out for like, I would say 8 to 10 weeks. We don't know when this trip was, but it just shows that she really has a grandiose idea of her physical fitness and her ability. And she really has almost like reverse body dysmorphia, where she sees herself as being more fit than she is.
And what I realized in Hawaii is that I'm not.
So what I wanted to do was take some of these most recent candid photos that we have of Anna and kind of compare them to her rock bottom time, and just really showcase the fact that she hasn't changed at all, basically. She went through 4 serious surgeries, and she's been working out and really focusing on her fitness journey, but we haven't seen any changes, and we've seen a lot of heavy filtering. So it's just really making me side-eye her quite a bit. You know, what are you hiding and why?
But this happened a couple times where something simple like walking in the sand was so daunting and so overwhelming that I literally didn't know how I was going to get through it. And the idea of like making it to the top. And it got to the point where I finally did get out of the sand. I felt so overwhelmed and so embarrassed, like just so ashamed that like this is where I was after working out all this time. Some freaking sand took me out. And I remember going up to the top of this like cliff where there was like oceans hitting it, not oceans, waves hitting it, and looking out and just bawling with my back to John and Emily, just tears coming down my face.
Okay, so she was crying again. But if we look here, this picture on the left-hand side in the yellow bikini was when she took her godchildren to Disney very recently. And if you look on the right-hand side, you know, she just looks very much the same. So did she change at all ever, or is she back up to her rock bottom weight? This was her wake up call weight. And the only differences I see is we have some heavy filtering, and I do think that they did take away some of the what did she call it? The knots or fibrosis like behind her knees and in her inner thighs. I can definitely see that, but I can also see where under her bust area has started to get bigger, in my opinion.
Because I was so embarrassed and I was so ashamed that I couldn't keep up. So frustrating because I just want that win. I want to be where I was and I'm not there. 2.5 months of working out is not going to get me there. This is 2.5, 3 years is probably what I'm looking at. And
so in like 2.5 years, Anna has gotten here on the left, looking a little slimmer, yes, but she's filtered and she's in compression. So I don't know what she's doing. It's the diet, okay? We know it's the diet.
I think the pain of that realization was just so heavy, like so frustrating because my mentality right now is I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start living the life that I kind of put on hold. And my body's not there. My body's not ready. And it's starting to feel a little bit like my body is a little bit of a prison, is a little bit of a place that keeps me from experiencing the world in the way that I want to. And it's challenging because I've never been at war with my body. I've always been pretty much at peace with it. But I do feel right now like I'm in a little bit of a war zone where I am pushing my body to do things that it is not accustomed to and not comfortable doing. And it is very angrily pushing back. And I just am mad. I'm just mad at myself.
She should be mad at herself. It's 2.5, almost 3 years later, and she still hasn't gone to a nutritionist and gotten herself on a proper whole foods diet that focuses on protein and anti-inflammatory. And she's eating all these highly processed like candy replacements and wondering why she's probably still having like cravings and, you know, the want to binge. So yeah, she should be mad at herself. She needs to get it together. She has the means, she has the resources, and she's smart. So, of course, we have to go and check out the Smart Sweets. And you know what? Personally, I think these things suck. I think if you want to eat some candy, you should eat some candy. And if you are having cravings and stuff, maybe you should refrain for a little bit until you stop having those cravings and you can kind of control yourself. So for me, it just means not having it in the house if I don't want to eat it. But anyway, these are 130 calories a pack. They're all roughly similar. 100 milligrams of sodium. They're 40 grams of carbs. So this is like a high carb snack. It's not low calorie and it doesn't offer anything. There's no protein in it. There's some fiber. So yay, you're going to shit yourself. And I think I just looked up another flavor. Which one did I pick? The sour melon bites, sour watermelon bites. And again, like, I don't like these. I don't think they're very good. They just don't hit like a regular sour watermelon would. So 130 calories, no protein, 40 grams of carbs. Like, that's insane to me. You know, I don't know. And if she's eating these all the time and also eating the protein snacks before and after workouts, like, where is she fitting this in? I just, like, Anna, it's the food. It is the food. You can't be mad at anybody but yourself, too, because you have the money to get a professional dietitian and to have them write you out a meal. You could get a meal service and this could be done, you know, but you, oh gosh, just continue to act like you have it all together and like you know better than everyone else and you want to teach everyone else how to go on a fitness journey. So enjoy your not so smart sweets, your carb snacks.
That my body is just as mad at me as I am at it. my body is going to fight me on things. And I think it just became like a massive reality check for me that I'm totally behind. This is going to be a long journey, a lot longer than I thought. No, I don't feel empowered. I feel overwhelmed and sad.
Okay, so this is the picture that kind of started it all. And, you know, when I was recommended this video and I saw this picture, I was just like, bingo, ding, 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 bing, 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 bing. The lights were flashing. And so, you know, I went to my little Procreate program and I just wanted to do a little comparison. And so I did this just to make sure that I got the sizing appropriate so that I wasn't making one bigger than the other. I wanted to really make sure I was matching up the size of the eyes and the mouth and the eyebrows and just really making sure that, like I said, I had both of them the same size so that we could really truly compare like the weight difference and not the fact that maybe I blew one photo up way bigger than the other. So literally for transparency and for honesty. So you can kind of see right here the comparison, and it's just really, really crazy that, you know, she very, very clearly looks to be at her rock bottom or her wake-up call weight. She is, I think that this maybe was an unfiltered photo. So you know, if you look at the neck, it really does look like it's about the same size. You know, the photo on the left-hand side is the recent photo. The photo on the right-hand side is from, it's almost 3 years ago. If it says it's 3 years ago, but it's almost 3 years. So here I am just kind of comparing again. And I really think that I have the sizing right. I think that's maybe tilted at a different angle, but the eyebrows and the eyes are about the same size. You know, it was hard to get the exact same expression, but, you know, I really just wanted to be thorough and make sure, you know, you can kind of see that, like, the eyebrows are the exact same. So I know that this is, like, again, a little nitpicky, but I like to be thorough and make sure that I'm being fair. You know, if I'm doing a comparison, I want it to be fair. I'm not trying to make it seem like she's gaining weight if she's not, you know what I mean? But I just think it's concerning that, you know, after 4 surgeries and all this working out, she went to the retreat, that she literally looks to be at her wake-up call weight. It's really concerning. And, you know, I just did the video about the filter fail. So she's wearing, you know, compression and she's heavily filtering herself. And I think that it's apparent why. I think she is realizing that she has not made any changes, you know, in the last 3 years. And it really is the diet. It's her diet. And I think that it's really apparent that it's her diet. And it's really sad because I'm not going to say it's easy to clean your diet up. Like, I love food. I love eating. It's not easy, but it is, in theory, easy. And I think that she has the resources to safeguard herself and to help herself from having slip-ups and stuff. So, yeah, it's just kind of weird. So this was the original photo that was in my other video of the side-by-side. These were posted on the same day. The left is filtered, the right is not. And then side-by-side with my comparison, the right is 3 years old, and this was her rock bottom weight. So here we go again with the smart sweets, you know. It's the diet, Anna. You can't be eating garbage like this. It'd be one thing if you got these every once in a while, but if you're buying an entire box of these, you are integrating these into your daily routine. Just like you admitted that you were integrating the protein snacks and the protein powder and all that other stuff into your daily routine. So it's just too much. And if you're going to be adding stuff, it does get to a point where you need to replace it, you know, and it's not a matter of depriving yourself, but, you know, if you consume too much fuel, your body has to store the fuel. And, the extra fuel gets stored as fat. So there we go with that. I don't know. I just thought that this was so interesting. She's heavily filtering, and it would appear that she's back to her wake-up call weight. So I'm just wondering when the wake-up call is going to happen. And I wonder if she was to go back and watch that video, if she would feel some kind of way about the fact that she said it was going to take 2 to 3 years to make these changes. And here, like 2 to 3 years later, she really could have like completely changed her lipedema situation and completely changed her mobility and her strength and all that stuff. But she refuses to utilize her resources and get a dietitian and a nutritionist and adhere to any kind of a diet that would help her with her issues. So that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, be responsible and respectful. And, we're not here to body shame or anything. We're just talking about, the dishonesty and the filtering and, kind of the proof. We're talking about the proof that we can see in this little pudding pie right here. So anyway, talk to you all later. Keep it wicked. Keep it weird. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already.